10, midfielder Tess Sapone. Number 12, defender Sammy Betters. Number 20, defender Julia Lester. Number 21, forward Deanne Rose. Number 22, defender Parker Roberts. Number 27, forward Vanessa Cara. Number 44, goalkeeper Susie Espinoza. Number 92, midfielder Alex Stubblebine. The head coach for the Gators is Becky Burley. She's assisted by Vic Campbell, Alan Kirkup, and John Rowan.
And this is big time here tonight. Derek Sharp here from Corbett Stadium, where will be the USF Bulls looking to start off the season 2-0, and both against SEC opponents, beating Auburn in the most thrilling of fashion just a couple of nights ago. And then now the Florida Gators come to town. And it is interesting. You are going to have an absolutely packed stands as you hear that music beating right now. Of course, USF players are clapping along with the beat. And on the Bulls side, the Gators side, they're doing the Gator chop. So if the Bulls can carry over what they had here going on Thursday night, it will be a fun one. In fact, here's how it ended. If you didn't listen, it looked like it was headed into overtime between the Bulls and Auburn until...
And now, get on your feet for your USF Bulls. First, a defender from Sunrise, Florida, number 2, Cheyenne Dennis. A forward from West Palm Beach, Florida, number 3, Aubrey McGrath. A defender from Quebec, Canada, number 5, Fanny Kelty-LaMoche. A defender from Cheshire, England, number 6, Lucy Roberts. A midfielder from Iceland, number 10, Andrea Hochstadter. A forward from Lancienne, Lorette, Canada, number 14, Evelyn Vienne. A defender and forward from Newport Richey, Florida, number 15, Sabrina Wagner. A defender from Valrico, Florida, number 17, Rebecca Anderson.
So that's how we left the USF Bulls nation, and now they're looking to carry it on. You'll hear from Denise Schulte-Brown in just a couple of minutes. A pretty interesting change in goal. She is going to go with Kat Harmon, who is a freshman and outstanding in the short time that I saw her in the preseason, but Sydney Martinez was a starter for every game last year, and she will not start against the Florida Gators. They're also going with another change to the lineup, so you will hear the explanation for that and more from Coach Denise Schulte-Brown when we continue. The Florida Gators going up against the USF Bulls. Both teams won their opener with the Gators taking FAU in overtime. This is Women's Soccer on USF Bulls Unlimited.
The fourth official is Abdel Houteini. Joining the team for today's national anthem are the Tampa Bay Rowdies pre-DCNL team. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats for the singing of our national anthem by Joshua Paul. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars
And this should be quite the environment here tonight, quite the special environment. It is definitely a warm environment for soccer between USF and Florida. The Bulls and the Gators both won their first games Friday night for the Gators down in Boca Raton against FAU. Pretty exciting game there as they gave up a goal late in the proceedings to force overtime. The Owls got a goal in the 87th minute, as a matter of fact, but the Gators were unshaken. And their outstanding player, well, they have more than one outstanding player, but really a standout player, Deanne Rose, got the winning goal in the 96th minute. Rose, not a big-time goal scorer, but she is a big-time player. She recently played in this little thing called the World Cup for Team Canada. And last year, due to national commitment, she was only able to play 10 games for the Gators. And so that just gives you an idea of what kind of player that the Gators are going to have to try and slow down in number 21, Deanne Rose. They do have a couple of players from the Tampa Bay area, so that's a nice little touch. Here is, and they're really doing well, by the way, Sammy Betters out of Springstead. She is a senior and one who basically got into the starting lineup right as a freshman, was an all-freshman in the SEC, Julia Lester. They're both seniors. She is from the Academy of Holy Names, so certainly some local ties there and certainly a lot of fans making the trip down from Gainesville. Speaking of fans, they are out in the stands, not just the fans that are rooting on the game, but the actual ones that wave off the heat because it is going to be a scorcher. And you heard Denise Schulte-Brown? I wouldn't even say half joking. I think she was about 1/3 joking, and the other part of her realized that the blackout, even though it looks good in the stands and they're wearing the black uniforms, tough conditions to be wearing black, but of course the Bulls are fit and in shape. We mentioned the Gators winning in overtime Friday. The Bulls got that last-second goal to beat Auburn. That was on Thursday night with Sydney Nasello doing that damage. So you've got 4 in the back for the Bulls. It is the same 4 they've been going with for most of the season. Well, most of the season, including the exhibition season. Lucy Roberts and Cheyenne Dennis in the middle. Sabrina Wagner on the right side of that defense, Bree Blathland. Rebecca Anderson, who has the ball now, more of a defensive midfielder. So really they have, in effect, 5 in the back with the 2 up top being Evelyn Vienne. 49 goals, one of the best players in the entire country. And Aubrey McGrath, the second leading returning scorer for the Bulls. Your other true midfielder, Sydney Nasello, a great attacker. Fanny Pelletier-LaRoche getting the start today, as opposed to Katie Kitching. And, of course, Andrea Hochstadter, who just steals the ball near midfield. And she has Evelyn Vienne. She could lay it off. Vienne is going to lose the battle. Is a nice rush at the very last moment there, as it looked like Vienne was going to have the ball, but the aforementioned Sammy Betters stealing it away from her. Gators with Parker Roberts. Alex Stubblebine, interesting, a former Cincinnati player, suiting up for Florida. Played just a few games last year, but her second start. Kit Lefersky, outstanding forward. Tess Sapone, who came off the bench in their opener, getting the start today. Mentioned Betters and Lester, the two locals. And Rose, here's a steal by Sydney Nasello. She has Vienne to her left, but she is ridden off the ball by Julia Lester. Well, it goes back to McGrath, though. Thinks about the feed to Vienne as the Gators look pretty strong right now. Hochstadter delivers at the top of the box. Has a player available to both sides, but he gets stolen by the Gators. Completing their starting lineup, we talked about Deanne Rose. In the back, Karina Baltrip-Reyes. Ava Kaiken, who is a English national player. And Vanessa Cara. Goalkeeper is Susie Espinoza, someone who played in just one game last year, but their starting goalkeeper, Kaylin Marchese, graduated, so they now have a new goalie. And speaking of goalies, very interesting for the Bulls, going with Kat Harmon. Denise Schulte-Brown has the ultimate confidence in Kat, and she played the first period. She actually got the start in their first preseason game and acquitted herself pretty well when she had to make a save. It wasn't that often she had to in that game against Stetson, but very solid back there. And Sydney Martinez is an outstanding goalie, but Denise Schulte-Brown feels like she has a couple of them. The Gators have a free kick here as we are just 2.5 minutes underway, and they'll take it from the far left side. Service into the top of the box. That's dangerous, and that's in the net. And they're going to say offside. Boy, that is a break for the Bulls, because first chance to make a tricky play, and not only did the Bulls not come up with it on defense, but Kat Harmon let it by. I think she was anticipating the, of course, deflection, and that was not a good start for the Bulls. They are fortunate that the Gators were offside on that play. It was an instant call by the linesperson, but a little shaky start, no doubt about it, right now for the Bulls. First free kick, and that was played in from about 30 yards away. Not normally what you'd call a scoring situation, but that ball actually went into the goal. Fortunately for the Bulls, it immediately was called off. Now they're trying to just get it out of their own end as the Gators are pressing up. A foul there. So the Bulls get a little breathing room and a chance to regroup. They need it after, of course, it wasn't a goal, but you still feel a little shaky after the first defensive set piece started, and you hope, of course, with your freshman goalkeeper getting her first start, that she doesn't let that moment linger. Probably would be a good idea to play it back to her and at any opportunity. But right now the Bulls are taking the chance to move the ball up the field from my left to my right. Again, wearing the black on this blackout Sunday. The stands are absolutely jam-packed. The sun is, because this game starts a little bit earlier than normal, 6 going to be a factor for most of this game. Lucy Roberts plays it up the park, deep, but just over the head of Evelyn Vienne. Gators move it up the pitch. Karina Baltrip-Reyes, good work, but her pass intended for the great Deanne Rose was a little bit too wide. Bulls take the ball. Roberts to Fanny Pelletier-LaRoche, who had a kind of an unsung role in that winning goal with 20 seconds left to beat Auburn 2-1. As she won a header at midfield, out leaping 2 Auburn players, and the ball went right over to Andrea Hochstadter, who fed Sabrina Wagner. The rest is history. If you weren't aware of the history, it was Wagner to this person, Sydney Nasello, for the goal. Sydney Nasello using the speed, Baltrip-Reyes on her, tried to feed it up to Vienne, but there to intercept it for the Gators was Parker Roberts, redshirt junior, former player at Kansas. They do have several transfers on the roster, including Vanessa Caro. We mentioned the senior, originally from New Jersey, played at Drexel and was actually an all-conference player there in the Colonial. Or is that an all-association player? Either way, she's good. Gators coming off, and when I say a rare non-NCAA tournament season, extraordinarily rare. Andrea Hochstadter, who has extraordinary skills, was ridden around by 2 Gator players, all aware of her technical savvy, but she was able to play it back to the defense. Cheyenne Dennis Here's a chance for Kat Harmon to play the ball, and she looks to send it towards midfield. Knocked away there by Florida. Stubblebine gets it intercepted by Sydney Nasello, who is like a water bug out there. Water bug who can also score goals with a lot of regularity. The Bulls 1-0, ranked number 18 in the country, very early in the season. When you start off with games against two SEC teams, I'm not going to say dream to go 2-0. Dream makes it sound like it's impossible, but you hope to go 2-0. But frankly, it's not an easy task, and so far they're halfway there. Ball's played out of bounds by the Gators, and so USF gets a throw in right near midfield, right in front of me. Denise Schulte-Brown getting over to Sydney Nasello to impart some words of wisdom, I would imagine. Mentioned Parker Roberts being one of the transfers. Mentioned she transferred early on. She played at Kansas in 2015. And, yeah, she had a good reason to sit out the next year, also with the the transfer rule, but also playing for the under-20 national team. So they have got some serious international experience and national experience on this Florida Gator team. Mentioned that they rarely miss the NCAA tournament. Last year was the first time they missed it since 2002. Their previous appearance was a good one, made it all the way to the quarterfinals in 17, and that's a good pass up the right side. Florida has a chance here. First cross into the box, headed towards Rose, but it's played away well by Hochstadter helping out. Ball settles to the foot of a Gator, and it's going to go wide off the foot of Vanessa Cara. Second shot of the game. And it'll be a goal kick for the Bulls. Certainly expecting to see a lot of student athletes from other sports here. Looking at kind of unmistakable Carson Ragsdale, who goes 6'8", pitcher on the baseball team, Billy Moll's squad. Lost a lot of pitchers due to injury last year. He was one of the first to need the Tommy John, and yet he's one of the first to be ready to come back, so that's going to be a big addition. Baseball, of course, I think last sport to start. We have so many that are just getting going here in the fall, and we'll be covering them all for you here on USF Bulls Unlimited. Gators are definitely not giving the Bulls a lot of room. That first instance, about 90 seconds in, when Evelyn Vienne was wide open for a moment, was closed down by Sammy Betters of Florida. A steal by Sydney Nasello, though, has a chance and immediately blocked away. Gets the ball back into the box, takes it around a player, left-footed shot, and it's stopped. Great effort there by Sydney. Susie Espinoza had to go low to get it. But that's what Sydney Nasello can do. Of course, she won the game on the long blast, but she has move, she has speed, she has all you want in a soccer player except height. That's not her fault. 5'3", sophomore out of Land O'Lakes. She would have gone up against Sammy Betters from Springstead and perhaps even Miss Lester from Academy of Holy Names, but it would have been back when she was a freshman, and I know that Nasello certainly played, and so did Sabrina Wagner from Mitchell. A couple of Tampa Bay area players in the starting lineup for the Bulls today. Gators. Well, Rose gets the ball and immediately gets swarmed by two Bulls, and is Kat Harmon able to play it before it goes out? Actually, it was ruled to be off of Rose anyway, so she let it go for a goal kick. You hear the fans, and so many of them here tonight. Had to bring the sunscreen, though. In fact, we can tell you as we hit the 10-minute mark that somewhere between 25 and 30 minutes, there will be a hydration break. And there will certainly need to be. Not just for the players, the broadcasters. Oh, there's a ball popped up well by Pelle Taylor Roche. Vienne has that wonderful speed, but Sammy Betters is pretty fast as well. And there indeed, she got to the ball before Vienne. That's the thing about Evelyn Vienne, that it's interesting how she can just create a goal with one touch. She decided not to do it there, to try to uncork one from about 22 yards away, and kind of a clumsy effort for a person who rarely has any sort of clumsy efforts, Evelyn Vienne. Again, 49 goals already. The all-time scoring leader in USF history. There's a pass that Sidney Nasello had a chance at, and boy, really having to get on to the end of that was Betters. But Nasello hounding everyone on the Gator back line that gets the ball. But Betters ends up playing it well out of bounds. Well, there are more ball boys and ball girls for this game than I've seen. You can tell it's a big opponent. Looking to my left at the berm, it is jam-packed for that Rowdy's Cup game last night with the men's team against UT. It was filled up pretty good, but nothing like right here. This is as big a crowd as I've seen at Corbett Stadium. Last time these teams played was in 2017. It was in the second round of the NCAA tournament, which was an interesting thing from that year because that was the year that UCF was a number 1 seed and got to host a tournament game and lost it. They were, in effect, the 1 seed in their group of 8 and lost it to the 8 seed, Washington State. So instead of UCF being where the Bulls would head after the Bulls won their match against FGCU, they ended up going to Gainesville and being the opponent for the Gators in the second round. The Gators won that game by the score of 1-0. Then went on to play in the third round, Washington State, the same team, of course, that knocked off UCF, ended up winning its second round game, and Gators beat them before falling to another SEC team. So SEC strong in so many sports, certainly in women's soccer. South Carolina was the team that knocked them off that year. We're in the 13th minute. Official doing a good job here of anything untoward, calling it a foul. It's not too free-flowing with the whistle, Daniel Gutierrez, but making sure the players know they're not going to gain any advantages with pushes or shoves or anything like that. You got to gain it with your feet and sometimes your body, but not kicking or pushing. Good work there by Karina Balltrip Reyes, a redshirt junior from Texas. Started every game last year at outside back. Now the Gators trying to move the ball, maybe taking a little bit of time here to set something up. Tess Sapone over to the right. That's Kit Lefersky. Drops it back for Betters, who tries to cross up the right wing and onside, but too far for Kara. Good idea for Betters. I will try my hardest to avoid the for betters and for worse type of puns because that's where my mind goes immediately, obviously, but it's going to be very difficult. Ball played in. 1-2 effort there by the Gators. Stubblebine ends up with the ball. Ends up settling back out to Kaiken and intercepted by Nasello. And now VN, with one player on her, actually has the goal open. If she wants to get rid of the ball, she can chip it over. She's going to go left, and it gets just wide. A save by Susie Espinoza, who came out of her goal. The defensive player was Parker Roberts, and they were both stuck. And VN had a moment where she could have chipped it over the keeper, who was, again, out of her net, but instead tried to give herself a normal shot. And I got to give credit to Espinoza for diving to her right and knocking it just wide left of the bar. Could see it perfectly from my angle. It was going to go wide. The fans here, I think especially the ones on the right side, thought maybe that was going in. So a dramatic effort there for the Bulls. Goes just wide. See members of the men's soccer team, Adrian Bill Hart, Trey Jackson. Looks like Josue Monje. They're starting their season in 4 nights against the defending national champion, Andrea Hochstadter, to take the corner kick after the near miss by Evelyn Vienne. It's a good ball, and it's headed down and away by the Gators. Bree Blethen rose up and got her head on that ball, and it was in, but for, I believe, that was Parker Roberts, again, who provided some pretty good defense just on the play before, at least slowed Vienne down. Might have been the one to clear that one off the line, but it was definitely going in. It was a good header by Blethen. McGrath plays it into Vienne. Can't turn that time, though. Tess Sapone is going to clear it away. So the Bulls looking much better now in that run, but the Gators are going the other way with it. Kit Lefersky has Rose in front of her calling for the ball. Boy, the Bulls are going to be all over her. I think Fanny Pelletier-LaRoche, again, mentioned defensive midfielder, is going to be keeping an eye on Rose as she is right now. Nasello with another knockaway, and her efforts appreciated by this very large crowd. I don't know if we ever get attendance figures during the course of the game, but if we do tonight, I'm telling you, it is going to be a big number. Got to be a couple thousand people here. Needless to say, the type of crowd that the Gators are used to. Good work there by Baltrip Reyes to send it over to Roberts, who's been busy there, the redshirt junior. I'll double check her bio, because by my math, okay, that's right. She had the foot injury last year. She was a co-captain. She had played for Kansas 15, sat out the year, national team duties, played as an all-conference player in 2017, got hurt last year. They did have a couple players that missed last year due to injury. Lefersky would be the other with an ACL. So certainly, and we talked about how they struggled last year with their record of 7, 10, and 4. Well, not having two players due to injury certainly can be a reason for that. And also the schedule. They actually went 500 in the SEC, which is darn good. Not their normal standards, but still impressive. But out of conference, 3, 6, and 2. And you look at it, they played at 19th ranked Oklahoma State, lost 1-0 in double overtime. They went out to USC and lost. Tough schedule. And now a tough player, Deanne Rose, earns a corner kick. The Bulls had big-time difficulty with the first set piece for the Gators, letting the ball actually go in, but it was offside. You're not going to get that benefit on this corner kick. Obviously, it'd be very difficult for a player to be offside. You'd have to be inside the goal, right? So let's see if they play it better. And again, a freshman goalkeeper, Kat Harmon in net. Sammy Betters will come up to play this ball. Andrea Hochstadter guarding the near post, Cindy Nasello the far post. Bulls just had a corner kick that was headed goal-bound well by Bree Blethyn, but it got knocked away. Let's see what the Gators do on their first attempt. Here, ball served in low, and Cheyenne Dennis is going to have no problems clearing that out of the box. It's still in play, and that's a foul, absolutely. Crowd doesn't like it, but Cheyenne Dennis pushed Sammy Betters, and that's about 5 yards away from the penalty box. Good, skillful, tactical play there. I wouldn't say skillful, I'll say tactical by Fanny Pelletier-LaRoche. And I'm sorry, that's Rebecca Anderson, and making sure to stand in front of the would-be taker. You can do. The second the player asks for 10 yards is when you have to back off. So now after giving the 10 yards, Sammy Betters will take the ball. We're in the 19th minute. Dangerous opportunity here. Ball's lofted in, and a decent volley effort there by Kit Lefersky. Her legs look fine. Again, she missed last year with an ACL, but volleyed over the goal. So, first substitution right on the 19th minute will be Katie Kitching. She's going to go in for Aubrey McGrath. Similar to the game against Auburn, McGrath actually went out at halftime, a player that, again, had 9 goals last year for the Bulls. Scored 2 right off the bat in the first 30 minutes of the exhibition season as the Bulls put up 6 in that game against Stetson. 5 from their starting unit, but you have to get it consistent going here in the regular season. Good play by Vienne on the long ball up, headed it onto the path in Nasello, but well taken by Baltrip Reyes for the Gators, sending it back to their goalkeeper, Susie Espinoza, who last year started 1 game, gave up 2 goals the other night. In her first start as the starter, gave up 2 goals. Bulls hope to extend that goals against average, but she looked very solid on that shot by Vienne. Was not going to be anywhere close to saving the header by Blethyn on the corner kick, but got saved by her back line, and that's what they're there for. On those corner kicks, you don't just have the goalie guarding the width of the box, width of the goal mouth, I should say. Now the Gators trying to get something settled here as they cross midfield. That's not a bad combination from Sapone to Cara. Vanessa Cara, a senior, was an all-colonial player at Drexel for 3 years in a row, including being the Rookie of the Year, scoring 11 goals for the Dragons. That's a long ball in. Harmon tested, and up to the test there is She had Deanne Rose bearing down on her. Lucy Roberts on defense. Roberts now one of 2 British players on the Bulls roster. Funny, last night at the men's soccer game, as the women's soccer team was sitting behind the goal to give their support, the 2 Brits just happened to be sitting next to each other, so fast friends, no doubt. Katie Kitching into the match. Has worked her way into the starting lineup this season, but off the bench today only briefly. Came in less than 20 minutes in. So the Bulls settling into the match after it looked like they were on the back foot. Oh, that is a dangerous ball, but cleared away by Sabrina Wagner. A chance for Baltrip Reyes to be in there, but for the efforts of Wagner. Oh, good work on the sideline by Sapone to keep possession. Now Baltrip Reyes looking for Rose, who makes herself available. Dennis is on her and getting some help from Rebecca Anderson. Again, Anderson's going to be playing some serious defense the whole way. Ball's up to Vienne, but with 1-on-4, she's going to play it back to Hochstadter. Over to Cindy Nasello. We are nearing the midway point of the first half. No score, but both teams have had excellent chances. The Gators actually put a ball into the goal, but it was offside on the play. Both teams off set pieces have had their best chances, although Evelyn Vienne certainly, off of a ball played in 1-on-2, got to the ball first, and but for a save by Susie Espinoza, this game stays tied. Into the corner. Good job there by Lucy Roberts, using the shoulder to right off Kara and earn the goal kick. Boy, as a goalkeeper, you really appreciate the hard work of your defensive players. Any dangerous possibility to end it, and that's exactly what we saw there from Roberts, who's again right into the starting lineup as a freshman. A couple players now in for the Gators. So Cassidy Lindley will check in along with Lainey Steed. Both came on as substitutes in their game Friday night down in Boca Raton. Lindley is actually the second leading returning scorer for the Gators, 1 goal and 5 assists. They lost their top scorer, Lace Arujo, who gave them 5 goals and 4 assists last year. Again, they've regained some players from injury, gotten some talented freshmen in the lineup as well. You expect fully this Gator team to be back in the NCAA tournament. Can't possibly see them missing it 2 years in a row. Good work there by Anderson. Nasello had it for a minute. I'm sorry, that was Kitching who had it for a minute, but right back to the Gators. Tess Sapone, the senior out of Oakton, Virginia, making herself open in the park, and she's really gotten the run of it right now, as the Gators are taking advantage of a chance to control possession here. Actually, it looks like the Bulls are almost letting them do it, because you're going to get the rests when you can in this game. It is so warm out. Good defense by the Bulls, and that is going to lead to a throw-in by the Gators, and is going to lead to our first hydration break. You will get one in the middle of each half, maybe 2 in the second half, as it was last night here. So we will take a short break. This is women's soccer on USF Bulls Unlimited. So the hydration break, much appreciated. A full 2 minutes they're going to get at the midway point of each half, at least the first whistle. And at the 24-minute mark, no score yet here. Bulls and Gators. Again, USF going with Katrina Harmon in net, getting her first start, a freshman. Everything else pretty representative. Starting lineup. First time she saw a ball that went behind her and into the goal, but it was offside. Bulls have since had a couple of outstanding chances to score. Just miss in the contest. Becky Burley started off the Florida Gator program. 1995, fourth season, won the NCAA tournament. So yeah, she's not going anywhere. It'll be her own accord when she calls it off there with the Florida Gator soccer program. How many can say that? Actually, you know what? It's funny. The Bulls played North Texas in the exhibition season, got a 2-0 win, and their coach started the program 25 years ago. The Bulls, even in their exhibition schedule, playing some pretty talented teams, but obviously the Gators a step up. And when I say that, I mean from last year, North Texas is the team that made the NCAA tournament. The Gators did not, but again, they've been in every single tournament since 2002, and more often than not, they progress pretty far in them. I mentioned their schedules. The Bulls have a throw in here from last year. Out of conference, just 3-6-2. Actually lost 4 games in a row. One was at third rank and eventual national champion FSU, 1-0. This time it's Vienne to Nacello, just a little bit long, and good defense by Karina Baltrop-Reyes. Gators and Knowles just so happen to be the two teams that the Bulls have seen their seasons end against the last 2 years after winning their first-round matches. Although the Bulls ended Florida State's NCAA astonishing run of home matches without giving up a goal, which was at 11. And the Bulls scored against them. Aubrey McGrath, who is on the bench right now, got on the board first for the Bulls, but FSU won that game and again went on to win the national championship. By rights, the Bulls got an unfair draw for their second round against FSU, but things are done a little bit differently in the NCAA women's tournament. Talk about that later, but right now, Florida has a chance, and ball sent into Rose, but the Bulls have 2 eyes on her. Again, it would appear that either Fanny Pelletier-LaRoche or Rebecca Anderson, both midfielders, are going to drop back anytime the ball is on the Bulls' defensive side of the field and go right to Rose along with another defender, which is certainly the way to go against such a talent. Doesn't have eye-popping numbers, but again, it's because she's played a lot of games with the Canadian national team. Ball on the far side of the pitch where Rebecca Anderson gets a steal with the help of Bree Blethen against Cassidy Lindley, the sophomore, who again had a goal and 5 assists last year as a freshman. I mentioned it's a different setup in the NCAA women's tournament where basically you just have to be in the top half of the field to host a first-round match. It's 32, home site matches. Good pressure by Vienne and Nacello to force a pass back to the keeper, Espinoza. But after that, whereas in other sports let's see, that ball is dangerously up to Rose, but Harmon's going to very patiently play. It almost came out of the box to do so. Thought that there was offside, but didn't get called. Unlike other sports like baseball and women's basketball, if you're one of the top 6 teams in the country, top 16 teams, you're going to get to host the first 2 rounds. If you're in the top 16 in soccer, you might as well be number 32 because you still have to go on the road. You got to be top 8. Katie Kitching on the left looks for someone to drop it to, and it ends up going to Andrea Hochstadter, who's going to send it over to the right side. And Nacello, great first touch, and she is fouled right outside the penalty box. In fact, the goal mouse behind the Gator goal didn't have the vantage point because A, they're looking into the sun, and B, it's hard to look that far down the field and know exactly where the player is. They thought it was a PK, but she was definitely fouled outside of the penalty box. Still a good chance here. Hochstadter's going to stand over the ball along with Sydney Nacello. Both right footers, although Nacello can certainly use her left, as we saw on the winning goal against Auburn. So this ball is about 2 yards outside the top of the penalty box. And right in between the edge of the 6 and the edge of the actual 18 on the right side. 4 people in the wall. The right side is open if Hochstadter can really put a curl on it and try and get it inside that right post. Let's see what she does. No, going to send it in. And boy, that was a smashed shot. Got over the wall. And I don't really know that Espinoza necessarily saw it. Or at least if she did, it was too late to do anything about it. I mean, that was ripped, but you could tell from this angle that it was going to be wide the whole way. Great pace. Really haven't seen Hochstadter strike a ball so hard. Usually she does it with finesse. Not that she doesn't have a strong leg, but she's more of a creator, a move maker, a good ball holder, making it patient and always making the right play. Well, that's a nice combo from Betters to Balcha-Paredes on the left sideline. Wagner intercepted it, but Kara does the same for the Gators, and now she's going to sprint down the left side. Wagner's going to try and stay up with the very speedy Kara. She's going to get a cross off, and good job there by Harmon. Oh, she couldn't save it from going over the line, so that is going to be a corner kick. Harmon did her best. The ball was definitely deflected by Wagner, but corner kick number 2 for the Gators. First one didn't really supply much in the way of concern for the Bulls, as it was played well short of where most of the players were, and Cheyenne Dennis cleared it out now. Sammy Betters will take it again. Laney Steed, a freshman, great name for this town, Sharpsburg, Georgia, comes over to offer help in the form of a short corner, but Vienne and Hochstadter, the 2 Hermann Trophy watch list players for the Bulls, are up there playing defense in this case. Everyone from the Bulls is either in the penalty box or right in front of the corner kick right now, so they are defending. And Cheyenne Dennis, a great defender, best on the team in my opinion, although there's some competition there, clears it away. It'll be a throw as we hit the half-hour mark. Another substitution now for Florida. Looks like it's going to be Corey Peace, a freshman from Chalfont, PA. Derek Sharp with you here on USF Bulls Unlimited. Another sub for the Bulls, and this is a player who really impressed me in her first game for the Bulls just a couple of nights ago, Rosalia Muñoz Gonzalez, a freshman from Spain who, boy, you can just tell has skill and poise. So several freshmen in the game for both teams now. There's a foul committed by the Gators. The one who, wow, I'm telling you, Corey Peace is just in her own land because she fouled Sabrina Wagner. The whistle was blown right away, but Peace just kept on playing until she heard the second whistle. She's fired up. Ball is played across the left side of the defense to Dennis. Thinks about sending it back to her goalie. Again, Kat Harmon getting the start tonight, but instead to Roberts up the right side to fellow defensive player Sabrina Wagner, who certainly is an offensive threat when they need her to go up, but I would guess against this opponent, you're not going to see much pushing up. As I say that, Wagner goes across midfield with the ball on the other side, the left, with Dennis holding it. See that Corey Peace, again the sub just into the game, a freshman out of PA, was a 6-time national AAU track and field sprint medalist. So I'm going to guess she's speedy. Just a wild guess there. Andrea Hochstadter over to Evelyn VM. Was she on? Yes, she is. So she gets to try and challenge Lester here. Going to take it around her. Back to her right foot. Lines up for a possible shot. There it is, and it's saved by Espinoza. Boy, it was a rebound and a juicy one, but no one there for the Bulls. Man, Vienne, who can hurt you with either foot, and you could tell Lester is fully aware of that, didn't want to give her the shot on the left side, and so all it took was a quick switch by Vienne to her right foot, and the patented low drilled shot. That's usually how Vienne gets her goals. They're usually low. She doesn't head the ball in very often. Just pace and placement. And that one was placed pretty well, but a little bit wide. Not wide, I'm sorry. A little bit too much to the goalkeeper. USF out shooting the Gators now 5-1. Bree Blethyn up from defense. Off the left side, there's Gonzalez. And she was offside there before she could get her first touch. And she got to touch the ball, but not legally in the book. I think that's the first offside of the night. Gators actually were offside earlier, of course, on the set piece just 2 minutes in. That made it look for all the world that the Gators were on top, but immediately flagged for offside. And boy, whoever was the infractor had to have been really close to the goalkeeper, because that was, again, more or less a free kick where you had the full defense back near the goal, and still a Gator player managed to be in between that last defender and, of course, the goalkeeper, Kat Harmon. Oh, that's a dangerous ball. Steed is onto it. This could be a dangerous opportunity. Harmon comes out of her net to play it, and now Sabrina Wagner gets back there to play it off of Steed. It'll be Bulls throw. So first test in a while, and Harmon did a great job there. Whoever sent the ball in, I didn't see the passer, I'm sorry, but it was Lainey Steed, the freshman from Georgia, who was in, and certainly a decisive detection there by the goalkeeper for the Bulls, the freshman, to come out and play it, or else that would have been trouble. Now Katie Kitching, as the Gators can't control the ball, maybe something on here for the Bulls. Cindy Nasello, of course, she's got speed, and there's Peace right on her and taking the ball away. So Cindy Nasello is faster than most players she goes up against, but against a track AAU medalist, maybe not. And that was the first example of that. And you could see why Peace would be a big time benefit for your team. Competed with the ECNL Player Development Program in 2017. That is a big club program. The ball's on the turf, and the official, I think the players just expected there would be a call there, but allowed to play on and on. Good work by the Bulls, being very industrious, making the Gators really earn the ball on the sideline. They're not letting them roam free at all tonight. Sabrina Wagner wins that particular throw, and now she has the ball, and there's Peace getting it away from her to Sapone. Kara, 2 on her, looks to send it over to Lindley. No go there. Rose, incidentally, out of the game right now. Oh, I want to give a shout out to Joey Mitchell, who is the game operations person here. He's tall, and he's actually blocking the sun from hitting me like it's been for the last hour or so. Michael Kelly also off to my left, the vice president of athletics for the Bulls. Sydney Nasello trying to get it from Baltrip Reyes, but the Gator gets the ball first there. Speaking of Michael Kelly, you can actually hear his voice in the background. Familiar Tones is actually going to be recording a new podcast with me on Monday, Bull Speed Ahead with Michael Kelly, so you can hear that on USF Bulls Unlimited, probably as early as Tuesday. We like to get those on the air as quickly as possible. I'm going to imagine that among the topics will be the start of the football season. First game, Raymond James Stadium Friday night against Wisconsin. Again, USF Bulls Unlimited will have the first hour of pregame only. It's the only place you can hear it, along with the rest of the broadcast. Katie Kitching, oh man, that was headed to Evelyn Vienne. Kitching had the right idea, no doubt, and Lester got it. Now some fancy work by Sapone against her fellow number 10, Andrea Hochstadter. Actually dribbled the ball and then popped it over Hochstadter's head to herself. Didn't see anything horrible from the referee. I think horrible is kind of an affectionate term when it comes to people that ride the officials. So we are 37 minutes in, and I tell you what, this is certainly a marked difference between the two teams. The Gators substituting a couple of more times, and now they have 2 more players coming in. Not yet, but Madeline Gravante, a sophomore transfer from Pittsburgh, is about to head in, and heading the ball is Sabrina Wagner, but there's Peace. Oh, and Wagner gets it from Peace. Peace thought there was a handball there, but no go. Looks like the other player about to come in is Samantha Tobard. She is from Stoneman Douglas High School. So Becky Burley, the Gators coach, liberal with the substitutions. Evelyn Vienne up to Sydney Nasello, and boy, if not for Karina Baltrip Reyes being aware that I'm going to have to go back here and help out my goalkeeper, Susie Espinoza, that could have been a very interesting scenario because Nasello had a beat on that ball. Good turn there by Lainey Steed up to Peace. Wagner's going to try and catch up to Peace, but Peace gets ahead of her on the left side. Lucy Roberts tries to close her down. It's across the goal. This is a dangerous opportunity. Cleared away by Bree Blethen. That was Madison Alexander on the shot. One of the subs that snuck in on me when I wasn't watching. And she is their top returning scorer, so She had a golden opportunity there, but missed the shot. 2 more subs, as I mentioned, for the Gators.
Entering the game for the Bulls, number 16, Olivia Cook, and number 23, Ashley Mead.
And Olivia Cook and Ashley Mead, as you might have just heard coming in for USF, Olivia Cook, certainly starter quality defender. In fact, got into the game 3 minutes in against Auburn when Serena Wagner went down with an injury. Wagner would return and assist on the last goal, but she's in to the match. So good work there by Bree Blethen, getting back to swipe away the shot from Madison Alexander. I mentioned she's their top returning scorer, had 6 goals, 2 assists last year. Actually had more shots than anybody on the team and shots on goal with 39 and 20 respectively. Came off the bench, though, against FAU and has again here today. Corner kick from the right side, and that looks strong, but Cheyenne Dennis's header is even stronger. Stays out to the Gators. That's going to be played low, and again, Dennis is on the other end of it. Sammy Betters tried to rocket it low, but no go past Cheyenne Dennis. Out of American Heritage, junior defensive player. Not to be confused with the American Heritage that Gator goalie Susie Espinoza plays for. There's one in Delray Beach and there's one in Plantation. The latter being the home of the Bulls defender, Cheyenne Dennis, the former being where Espinoza matriculated. Foul against the Bulls. Gators will get a free kick. Thank you, Clouds. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who just said that. 40-minute mark. No score yet. One thing that has to be said after the Gators went through the Bulls went through the whole preseason, 3 matches, not giving up a goal. Actually, 2 matches. Their defense is very, very strong. The goal that Auburn got was off a set piece, off of a corner kick, and it was one of those unstoppable headers. The player, Giroux for Auburn, was in the center about 8 yards out and headed it just to the left side where there's no way Sidney Martinez could have gotten the ball. But in the run of play, they haven't given up a goal, even though North Texas had a couple of breakthroughs, break-ins, 2-0 in particular, where they couldn't score. For the most part, everyone talks about the offense, right? But you got to have defense, too. Oh, Katie Kitching, an interception. Ashley Mead's going to help her. She's got Olivia Cook sprinting down the right side. Good ball by Kitching. Cook's going to try and get onto it and send it in. She does. That's a good-looking cross, but it just eludes Mead. Again, no VN in the match right now, no McGrath. A good deep cross from Kitching to Hochstadter. Cook gets onto it. She was offside. So with Vienne and with Nasello and McGrath, really your top 3 scorers on the bench right now. It was a little unusual to see Olivia Cook in the middle of the attack, but Kitching, her teammate, spotted her and did the right thing by feeding her the ball there. And when taking a breather here on a very, very hot night. You couldn't start the game too late because the Gators got to get to class tomorrow, but you couldn't start it too early because that would just be torture. And, you know, to have the hydration breaks, the first thing being the soccer purist is soccer's a test of endurance, man. Why would you give the players a break? That's not what you're supposed to do. Gonzalez with an interception right back to Betters for the Gators, but that's about player safety right there. And they do that in international play sometimes and professional play. Peace. Oh, a nice skillful crossover there, but winning the ball was Wagner. Kind of held her ground there while Peace was doing all this herky-jerky stuff, but very impressive. Cook tries to send it up to Ashley Mead, who is really getting her first full action as a junior out of New Jersey. So, yeah, player safety, one thing, and it's like, here's what I say whenever someone is obviously embellishing an injury and staying down on the ground for a couple minutes, but it allows both teams to get water. If you were running a marathon and someone said, hey, listen, we're going to let you stop for 2 minutes. It won't count against your time, but everyone else is going to get to stop for 2 minutes too, and it won't count against their time. Would you take those 2 minutes to stop? Yes, please. And so I think, especially in a warm night like this, it makes all the sense in the world. We had 2 minutes left to go in the first half. Good work out there. I believe that was Blethen and Kitching combining to knock the ball away and earn a throw-in. Bree Blethen pretty much takes any throw-in on the left side that's near midfield or not too close to the goal. Of course, she's being a defensive player. She had the second best chance for the Bulls are 1A and 1B belonging to her, a header off of a corner kick, and of course Evelyn Vienne on the break-in. That was stopped by Espinoza. Oh, Roberts, a good ball to her fellow Englishwoman, Katie Kitching, but the Gators were, in that case, better. I knew I'd throw in the Sammy Betters pun, the senior from Springstead. 90 seconds left in the half. Now Baltrip Reyes, free trip through the middle of the park. She takes it. Fanny Pelletier-LaRoche got her foot on the ball, so the Gators have to play it back. Gators distributing the ball for everyone on the defense to sort of maybe settle it and get one last run here. Oh, getting around the hold of two Bulls was Lindley for Florida. She's going to cross one in, and that is going to roll harmlessly out of play. And Sabrina Wagner might have had too much of the jersey there, but it was not called. Whistle. We'll stop play with the substitution. Another one for Florida. This will be Sid Kennedy, a freshman out of Nova Scotia. So I have a feeling when we give you the halftime numbers that I don't want to do too much math on the fly here because I might miss part of the action, but I guess at least 7 substitutions for Florida. No score yet. Less than 30 seconds to go. Hochstauder had a chance to find Meade. Gets the ball back, though. Has Cook over to a right side. Caesar decides to play it over there, but it's intercepted by Baltrip Reyes. Too late with that pass. 15 seconds left. Gators have the ball at midfield. Ball goes out of bounds, and USF won't even bother to throw it in, obviously. So, both teams had their chances. Florida actually got a goal, but it was immediately ruled offsides. And the Bulls had 2 outstanding opportunities on their own. But in the end, nothing doing after one half of play. Coming up at halftime, if you missed it last night, really, really good night for the men's program for many reasons, and for UT as well, as we played the Rowdies Cup. You'll hear the only goal, the game-winning goal in that situation. I'll also tell you what's going on this week. We'll take a look around the conference as far as women's soccer goes. Everyone started off their seasons on Thursday night, and for the most part having a second game this weekend. Right here, it's USF 0, Florida 0. You're listening to Women's Soccer on USF Bulls Unlimited. No score after 45 minutes of play, and if you look at the Gators last season, we mentioned how for them, of course, not making the NCAA tournament is a stunning outcome, but so many games they had that were low scoring. It's not like they got blown away. They were 7-10-4. But all but 3 of those losses were by 1 goal. So 7 of the 10 losses were by 1 goal. Lost to UCF 3-0, lost to USC, the number 7 team in the country, 3-0, and lost to Tennessee, which, oh, by the way, was ranked 9th. Well, my mistake, 4 of the losses, but you get the idea. There's Missouri 2-0. They actually started off the conference losing to Vanderbilt, but then beating Kentucky on the road 6-0 and coming home to LSU 4-1, and then going to a top 20 Mississippi State team and scoreless tie. So they were actually off to a fine start, but that 6-game or 4-game losing streak, losing 6 of 7 early in the season, dug themselves an overall hole that prevented them from putting together a overall record enough to do anything but, have to win their conference tournament. That didn't work out, but surely this Gator team isn't anything like a below 500 team, and we've seen that here today. It will be interesting to see if they have Deanne Rose back in the starting lineup. Again, the most dangerous player on the team, but she's not alone in that regard. She ended up getting subbed out in the first half. Again, it is so warm out there. She played 31 minutes. You also almost want to hang a star on the people that played the whole 45. The Gators, indeed, my unofficial count is official, had 7 substitutes in the first half. Bulls had 4. Going with a freshman in goal, Kat Harmon. Going with Fanny Pelletier-LaRoche, starting for the first time this year, but that's not really a big switch. Katie Kitching had been the starter. She actually played 27 minutes. So the Bulls had 6 of their 10 field players. Always the goalie plays the first 45 unless something crazy happens. So the ones that got an early seat, Aubrey McGrath, I would imagine she's back out there. She is. Sydney Nasello got to rest the last 6 minutes of the half. She's back out there. Evelyn Vienne also the last 6 minutes. She's back out there ready to kick the ball off alongside of Andrea Hochstadter. Shots in the first half. Bulls had a 5-2 advantage. Corner kicks, Gators 3-1. Saves, 4 saves credited to Espinoza. She certainly had to make a couple of difficult ones. Fouls 6-3 for what that's worth. Possession 57% for Florida, but a lot of that honestly was what you'd call non-threatening possession in the back when the Bulls almost like let them have it back there, especially when it's so warm. Don't go chasing for no reason. Chase if you think you got a chance to intercept the ball, obviously, but that would 57-43 indicate a domination. I wouldn't quite say it's been that way. And I'm at the game, I can tell you. The second half is underway. The Bulls wearing those black jerseys on this warm night. Going from my right to my left now. Evelyn Vienne knocks the ball away and tries to out-chase Betters. Boy, talking about running hard. She did push her at the end. Boy, that's good fight by Vienne, but the shove certainly oversteps the bounds of legality. Lot of now fans behind the Gator goal to my left. That's the, of course, offensive attacking goal for the Bulls, and they're actually in the shade and not having to stare into the sun, so that is actually the place to be. And come to think of it, that's probably why there's so many people back there. A, not having to look into the sun, and now B, not being in the sun. And hopefully the Gators can provide them a lot to cheer, the Bulls can provide them a lot to cheer for. Oh, good run by McGrath. Cindy Nasello plays it up to her on the left side. She's going to have time to settle. Weigh her options. It's a good cross, headed high into the middle of the box. Betters gets it out. Comes to the feet of Nasello. Shooting range, but 2 players on her. She creates a low shot for herself, and it's stopped by Susie Espinoza. Denise Schulte-Brown, the head coach of the Bulls, standing up and applauding that effort. That was a smart effort by Nasello, and it did make Espinoza work for the ball. Again, taking over the starting duties for the first time. The Bulls have a little bit of a more aggressive stance about them right now, but you got to watch out. Oh, there's Rose breaking in. Oh, man, she could not play the ball forward to herself. That was a break for the Bulls because she was in past the defense. It's over to Lefersky. Crosses it, and Sabrina Wagner on the right side is going to have to play against Ava Kaiken. Drops it back, and that's a chipped shot by Lainey Steed that's going to go over the net. So, yay. Opportunity for Rose where it was a perfect pass, and If she'd been able to touch that ball forward, she would have been in on goal. But she couldn't, and that was kind of a sigh of relief if you're USF. Hochstadter plays it up to the center. Sabrina Wagner pushing up on that right side, doing more so here early on than she did in most of the first half. Maybe at a sign that the Bulls are going to be a little more aggressive. Vienne tries to turn. She's able to do it. Onto her left foot. Has Nasello off to her left. Here's a chance. She could have one time, but instead takes a shot, and it's saved by Espinoza. Nasello thought about one-timing it, then took a touch, and with that left foot, went near post and high, but Espinoza made the stop. It'll be a corner kick. So 2 chances already for Nasello in this half. Shot count is 7-2. Andrea Hochstadter will run over. The Bulls looking very strong here to start off in just 3 minutes gone in the second half. I was about to say much different story. That would paint it as though the tables were turned in the first half. It was more even in the first half, but the Bulls have certainly been on the front foot here. Andrea Hochstadter with the corner from the left side. Instead plays it short, but too much for Nasello. That didn't work. But Cindy, with her speed, is able to win the ball. I think she might have used her hand there. No call. Betters gets the ball. So good work by Nasello. And now Hochstadter perhaps feeling some guilt about playing that ball poorly. Gets back into the play and actually earns a foul. I don't know that Nasello thought the foul was against Florida because she booted the ball. You know what? That was Cindy being frustrated by not scoring. She booted the ball hard against the wall. And I think that was just a frustration boot because she had 2 shots and certainly a better looking shot at a goal that last one. The Bulls can continue to have these opportunities. You like their chances, but for a player who's given up 2 goals in each of her last 2 year starts, Espinoza has been strong. Oh, that's a short free kick to Nasello, ridden off the ball, and that is going to be another corner for the Bulls. Good defense there by Rose coming back and helping out, but not enough to prevent the Bulls for another corner. So real red-hot start here for USF, befitting the temp. Well, they like having these corner kicks on the left side where the shade is. It's the only part of the field. Basically the left side from about 40 yards in, and the 6-yard box that the Bulls are trying to score into right now. Hochstadter serves it in this time. A curling ball in the air, headed down. That looked like Blethen again for the second time getting her head on a corner kick, but it goes wide. No harm there if you're the Gators. Susie Espinoza, one of the, of course, many Florida kids. The keeper has come up big here tonight. Mentioned those 4 saves in the first half. Already add a couple. Did not play her first year. Played the first 6 matches, the whole 6, in her second year, and that was it. Played 1 game last year, gave up 2 goals to FAU, and what do you know? She played her first as a starter, true starter, the other night against FAU. Gave up a tying goal late. Again, gave up 2 goals, but that pace has not continued. She's done a better job here tonight shutting out the Bulls, but USF certainly creating opportunities. Wagner has Kitching onto the wing, but instead plays it back to Lucy Roberts. Now to Vienne, who has 3 players on her, so she's going to quickly unload the ball over to Bree Blethen. Good work there by Lefersky for Florida. Now they're going to try and run. Rose has a sprint on. This could be trouble. Sabrina Wagner trying to catch up to Rose, but she has a chance to score here. And she settles it across. That's a sure goal for Florida, and it is. That was a great, great play by Deanne Rose. She sent it over to Kit Lefersky. You really, really have to applaud Rose for the pass there, as 2 Bulls defenders went over to Rose, the dangerous Deanne Rose. Wagner couldn't catch up. Dennis got to her, but that left Kit Lefersky wide open. And the redshirt junior from Bartram Trail, who missed all of last year with an ACL, was a big-time scorer in high school, had 46 goals up there, puts the Gators on top 1-0. Comes in the 52nd minute, and that's what can happen when you're pushing up a little bit. We mentioned how Wagner was part of the offense more so there in the first 5 minutes. Well, she was the player that would have normally been back marking Rose and instead had to try and sprint back, and you could just tell she didn't quite have the legs. Wagner's an extremely fit player, but she's been playing pretty far up, and basically the approach cost the Bulls there, but you also have to tip your hat to Rose. Most players would have shot that ball. She could have scored, no doubt about it, but saw that she had a trailer in Lefersky, and it was like a breakaway in hockey where 2 defenders go to 1 player, and this time the net was completely unguarded, in effect. Bulls have plenty of time to answer back, see if they can keep their poise. First time they've been behind this year. First time they've been behind this year if you include the exhibition schedule. Did not give up a goal in their first 2 games. Nothing doing on either bench. Again, you had 7 subs for the Gators in the first half, 4 for the Bulls, but I think things have settled down here. It's gotten a little cooler out there. Sydney Nasello now with the chance. Breaks in around a couple of players, gets fouled but stays up, so keeps the play going. Kitching with the good ball in. McGrath is there, and she can't convert. Good job by Espinoza. And that was also Parker Roberts getting in there. And if McGrath had just gotten her foot on the ball, this is a tie game. It was a wonderful ball by Kitching, but no go by McGrath. Kitching still fighting on the other end, in fact, fouling. That's a good call by the official. And she took Lainey Steed to the ground in the end. So the Bulls had a chance and an immediate answer there. Now McGrath, granted, had 2 players surrounding her. One was a keeper and one was Roberts, but if she was able to make contact and was right there on her body, it would have had no choice, the ball, but to go into the net. Gators leading at 1-0. On the goal by Kit Lefersky. Mentioned that she missed all last year with a torn ACL. She played 13 minutes 2 seasons ago, was injured. And this was after she played in 19 games in 2016, so she's just happy to be out there. She's still got a little wrap around her left leg. She could have scored that one with the torn ACL. It was that wide open. Betters and tries a low cross. This is dangerous. Oh, not able to connect is Lainey Steed. That's a break for the Bulls. She wasn't quite unmarked, but had a free run at that ball. So the Bulls have had 3 great chances to score here in the second half. The Gators have had, well, now 2, but an almost unmissable chance. But they were able to work past Kat Harmon. Certainly not the fault of the goalkeeper there, just credit to the Florida Gators. So there's going to be a substitution. Vanessa Cara is coming out, a senior, transfer from Drexel, and going into the game is Cassidy Lindley, a sophomore from Indiana. Mention all the Florida products, of course, for the Gators, but they don't have too many internationals. That's a difference from a lot of the teams that I've seen. Georgina Eaton-Collins is from England. Canadian is Sid Kennedy, who we saw late in the first half. Ava Kaiken, of course, she's an English national player, so she definitely qualifies. Sydney Nasello at midfield. Up to Hochstadter, who has Sabrina Wagner up again, making the run. Could it work to the Bulls' benefit here? Vienne's calling for the ball. That's a decent cross, but played well by Roberts. She has been in the middle of a lot of the dangerous threats for the Bulls and done a nice job of squashing them. Lucy Roberts gets dispossessed, and it's up to Rose. Dennis is going to try and stay with her. Bulls have got to watch out for the other players, right? Rose tries to work it around for a shot, a long shot against Dennis. Instead, sends it over. And unable to connect there is Steed. Might have done better to let it roll to Lefersky on the right side, but either way, the Gators get a throw in here. 55.5 minutes gone. Again, plenty of time here for the Bulls to try and answer. They're the ranked team. Auburn and Florida are the unranked teams. Bulls beat the first one. Oh, this could be a 2-on-1. It is a 2-on-1. Sydney Nasello has Evelyn Vienne in front of her. She's going to pass it surely. There's the pass, and it gets knocked away, but Vienne still has a chance at a shot. And she goes high and over the net. Boy, that was not what Sydney Nasello would have wanted to do. She held as long as she could. She did the right thing. And she had Vienne a 2-on-1, and it got deflected barely enough to pull Vienne off her path. And she still got a shot off, but there was more help for the Gators there. So, boy, a shockingly slanted opportunity in favor of the Bulls, considering the Gators are the team with the lead, but they can't take advantage. Oh, you rarely would think that would happen. Now Deanne Rose. Uh-oh. She's in ahead of Cheyenne Dennis. She's going to get a shot off, takes a touch, and she scores. Well, on one end, the Bulls had a sure fire goal opportunity with their two top players or two of their better players. And Deanne Rose does not make any mistake. She had just barely a yard of free room in front of Cheyenne Dennis, and that's all she needed. She took a perfect touch. So sometimes it's about the little things. On one side, if the Bulls have a better weighted touch, they're going to get Evelyn Vienne in alone. And Deanne Rose by herself gets the goal. So in the 57th minute, it is 2-0. Rose has been, I'll say it, the thorn in the side of the Bulls. They look to answer quickly. Evelyn Vienne pushing up. McGrath, a nice header. Oh, Vienne tried to volley it. Still has a chance at the ball. Could actually get a shot off over to Nasello. Thinks about chipping it, goes to her left instead, and gets ridden out. It's going to go for a corner. So good answer back by Vienne. Boy, she had some purpose, and Cindy Nasello wasn't hanging her head out there. She has had a frustrating second half. 2 good chances to score on her own shot, just missed, and then again the 2-on-1 where you knew the whole time she was going to pass it to Vienne. It was absolutely the right play, but she might have held it about a second too long, a dribble too long, and it was knocked away. Tried to be a little too precise with that one. If she maybe had given it to Vienne earlier, that would have done the trick. More than a half hour left, though. Andrea Hochstadter takes the corner kick. Espinosa can't get to it. It's chipped. It was, okay, offside. Yeah, that was a volley by, it looked like Lucy Roberts, but it didn't matter as a Bulls player was offside unless that was a foul call. Either way, whistle on the play. 58 minutes gone. Gators have a 2-0 lead. Bulls have more shots, 8-4. Can't be right? The Gators had 2 in the first half, or was it 3? Doesn't matter. 5-2. So yeah, they've scored on both of their shots here, and the Bulls have had 3 excellent chances on all 3 of their shots, and they haven't been able to convert. But hey, that's the story of the game, right? And give the Gators all the credit for taking care of business on their side. Neither team showing any inclinations to substitute right now. Denise Schulte-Brown can't afford to, as she usually does, sit her top goal-scoring threats for any extended period of time. Now that they're down 2-0, of course, you risk opening up. And boy, Lefersky was wide open on the right side. And if Cassidy Lindley would have been able to get the ball to her. And you heard the loud reaction from the crowd. There are a lot of Gator fans here, but definitely should be said, a ton of Bulls fans here. The blackout memo got around, all those students over there on the berm wearing the black shirts. Yours truly dug up my black Adidas. These polos are nice, made of that lighter material. Fanny Pelletier LaRoche clears it away. She is out there. Basically more like the normal starting lineup. In truth, the starting lineup for the Bulls in their last exhibition game and in their first regular season game has been the lineup here at the start of the second half, but the Gators have scored twice. Bulls, with the change being Kat Harmon in net, and frankly, there's nothing she could have done about either of those goals. That was a wonderful shot by Roche. Should mention that as well. In pushing the ball to her right side, she rocketed it inside the right post. She probably could have gone a little bit more safe with the shot, but she ripped it. And now she has 3 goals on the season. She actually scored in the exhibition season as well. So, yeah, she is as much as advertised. Only had 2 goals last year, but again in limited duty. Exactly an hour in, Bulls down 2-0. Sydney Nasello working hard out there. That's the fine line you're towing right now between working hard to get the ball back and not having any legs left at the end of the game. Nasello's got the best speed of anybody on the team and the best fitness, but it's a severe test, and hey, the Gators are pretty fit too. Lucy Roberts gets a nice rush up to Vienne, over to Kitching, and he gets away from her. Little frustration for the Bulls right now. Down 2-0. Didn't often give up 2 goals in a game last year. To look at their schedule from last season, I know they did in the conference tournament game to Memphis, and in the NCAA tournament a 2-1 loss to FSU and to Auburn. Pretty sure that was it. They only lost 4 games. The other one was that shocker up in Temple in the second overtime, 1-0. Still remember that highlight, where it was a fluky of all fluky goals. It was an own goal that was called a goal for Temple, but Cheyenne Dennis on a ball that was an absolute cross on an angle that she couldn't have ever tried to score on her own goal if she had wanted to score on her own goal, somehow knocked it into her own net. So really just the 3 games where the Bulls and the Houston win last year, 3-2. That was a wild back-and-forth game. Another substitute about to check in for the Gators, Alyssa Howell, out of Farmersville, Ohio, redshirt senior. We'll be seeing her for the first time. 62 minutes gone. Bulls are facing an uphill climb here. I will mention it one more time for good luck. Keeper for the Gators in her last 2 games has given up 2 goals in each of them. So there's a precedent that hopefully the Bulls can continue to set. Looks like Gonzalez about to check in for the Bulls. And Cindy Nacello is struggling out there. She might have got dinged. Now, meanwhile, Katie Kitching, as there is shade on this side of the field. Look, Andrea Hochstetter thought about lining one up. Instead, over to Bree Blethyn on the left side. Good ball in. It's drifting towards the goal. Could have been a penalty there. No, they actually call offsides. Okay. I thought the referee's assistant there on the side was going to whistle a foul. Sometimes they are given the liberty to do that, but called offsides. That was a well-served in ball by Blethyn. Espinoza, the keeper, wanted to play it. And really, it was there to be headed either back across the goal mouth for a possible score or maybe straight in, and it just didn't work out for the Bulls. That's the good news here. We got to keep mentioning it. I know, 2-0. It's hard for me to say they're not getting outplayed, but they're not. It's not like they're running into a brick wall out there. They are creating the opportunities and just not finishing them. Here comes another possible opportunity. Cheyenne Dennis to her fellow defender, Bree Blethyn, who has been charging up the field. That's good work there. Not going to be a foul? I thought that was a good tackle, I'll be honest, by Kit Lefersky, and she holds her hands out saying, I thought I just made a good play there. But it's been ruled a foul, not in a real dangerous spot for a free kick. It's more like a short corner. But a better angle at a possible delivery closer to the goal for Andrea Hochstetter. Now about, I'd say, 7 yards away. You just heard a fan say bury it. That would be a tough spot to bury straight in from. But again, maybe a little bit of an easier angle to feed a teammate. No one close to the goal, so no doubt you're going to have the Bulls charging in here. Here comes the kick by Hochstetter, and it's closer to the goal. Headed back by Blethyn into the center. McGrath got pushed, no call. There's a shot by Fanny Pelletier-LaRoche. That was blocked by Betters. So Blethyn did the right thing there, heading it back, and McGrath just couldn't get enough on it. It was definitely a push, but I'm not complaining for a penalty. I really think penalties should be absolutely earned and no doubters. I know the letter of the law is if it's a foul in the middle of the field, it's a foul in the penalty box, making it a penalty, but I don't know, it should be a clear denial of a goal-scoring opportunity is my book, and Bulls didn't argue on that either. So Sabrina Wagner, who again has been running like crazy out there, up and down the right side of the field, is going to get a little bit of a breather, and Aubrey McGrath is going to come out as well. So it'll be the freshman again, Rosalia Gonzalez, coming into the Wagner spot, McGrath spot, I should say, and Wagner will be replaced by Olivia Cook, who is really a starting quality player on defense. Again, has played recently for the Canadian national team under 19. And let me tell you, the Bulls are going to need her as a starter for a couple of games because Lucy Roberts is going to go play for the national team in England. And that is coming up. Offside there, called immediately as the new player, Alyssa Howell, got a little too ahead of herself there. 65 minutes gone, just 25 minutes remaining. Bulls down in this one, 2-0. Official is calling for, a Gator is hurt. Don't want to guess who that is. But this actually is going to be the hydration break. So the opportunity taken there and the time on the clock, 65-17, makes all the sense in the world to go with the hydration break, as we will ourselves right here. I am actually going to get some water. It is that type of game. The score is 2-0 in favor of Florida with 25 minutes left. This is women's soccer on USF Bulls Unlimited.
Entering the game for the Gators, number 23, Corey Puce, replaces number 6, Kit Lafersky.
And we'll cut back in as that was not a hydration break. Boy, I could have used it, but it was just the injured player going off the field. So we're back in action, and Sydney Acello, speaking of action, charges in, and she is dispossessed by Roberts, who has just been a menace for the Bulls. Acello has been down on the ground more often than not here in the second half. Now the Gators don't have as many players forward. They've been able to counter with just, well, actually 2 players for their 2 goals. And they're going to continue with that approach. And in fact, Rose is not in the game right now. So Coach Burley knows a little bit about how to manage a game-type situation. So she doesn't have her top goal scorers out there. Wanted to maintain this 2-0 lead. 4 in the back. Tess Sapone is up at the top of that. Karina Balchip-Reyes, the one of whose name I have been mentioning most tonight, Parker Roberts, in the middle there. Now a chance here. A good ball in, but a little bit too far. Looked a little bit better off the boot than it ended up being. I believe that was better. She did have Alyssa Howell. The Gators can afford to not be perfect on their opportunities right now because they've been so good on the 2 that they scored. 67 minutes have elapsed. Gonzalez with the ball across midfield for the Bulls. Tries to send it to Vienne. Holds her hands out saying, I'm not going to get to that one. Roberts gets it instead. First sign of maybe a little frustration from Vienne. So the Bulls, again, to recap, 0-0 at halftime. Sydney Nacello had 2 solid shots from about 12 yards. Missed, and then had a 2-on-1 where her planned pass to Evelyn Vienne looked like it was going to happen and got knocked away. But here's a chance. Cook with a cross and stepping out in front of it to Susie Espinoza. So those 3 chances for the Bulls. Great opportunities. The latter of those 3, the chance to tie it after the Gators had gone on top on the Lafersky goal. And by the way, Kit Lafersky is the player who is down on the sideline. Looks like they're looking at her left leg. Taking the advantage to replenish the fluids. Smart idea there. Again, I'll keep a close eye on that because, of course, she's the player who's had so many injuries. You certainly, and it doesn't look serious. I'm going to stress that, and I hope it's nothing. In fact, I don't think it is, and that's good. So I'll definitely keep an eye on that. 22 minutes left. I want to thank you all for tuning in. USF Bulls Unlimited, home to all the live soccer action throughout the course of the season. If you're catching us on YouTube, I'm a little nervous because you get to see if I mess up. If you're just listening on Bulls Unlimited, trust me, I haven't messed up at all. Derek Sharp with the action. Bulls next will be on the field Thursday night at St. Leo, and we will actually have that game. I figured, what the heck? Not the longest trip I'll ever have to make. You just heard the substitution booming through the speaker here. 2 more substitutions. Alexander comes in, along with Madeline Gravante. One player that I'd be interested to see if she gets in there is Olivia Gonzalez from Palm Harbor. A freshman, though. Got to earn your way in, right? Sammy Betters from the right side taking this corner kick for the Gators. Good ball in. Oh, that was dangerous by Olivia Cook. She made the play, but could have been called for a handball, wasn't? Evelyn Vienne sitting a cello up for the Bulls, but 4 back for the Gators. Ooh, good job by Pelletier LaRoche. Play on, and Vienne plays it up to Gonzalez. This could be an opportunity for the freshman. She's got to get to the ball. Gators have a player getting back. Gonzalez 1v1. Can she get off a shot? That's a good shot, but it's blocked by Florida. So great ball by Vienne to the freshman. Got to say to my left, Michael Kelly, the vice president of athletics here for the Bulls, was on the top rail there, leaning over with excitement with a possibility there. So Gonzalez was in ahead, but closing down a couple of Gators, one of them being Roberts, which is almost going without saying. Oh, good ball by Kitching to feed Cook, and a good cutback by Cook. Here's a chance for the Bulls. Oh, a step over by Cook. That's something else, and she's going to earn a corner kick. Wow, Olivia Cook, again, defensive player. And now a Gator has a cramp, which is not surprising in these conditions, man. You're running around out there. I'm surprised we haven't seen more, honestly. Keeping an eye on Lefersky to my right. The Gator player has the first goal. Again, missed all last year with the torn ACL. Played just 13 minutes the season before. She is fine. She's walking around. She looks normal. She is good. So now the Bulls, as we hit 70 minutes, really have to cash in here in the next, I'd say 10 to have a chance, and a corner kick is a good chance with Andrea Hochstadter taking it. Now the whole field except for the very edge of the Bulls' defensive goal in shade. This is wonderful. Cook was ready to get on the end of that and said Pelletier LaRoche. It's down to the feet of Cook, but all sorts of Gators in the box preventing an easy shot. There was a call for a handball there. I don't think you could rightly expect that, but Cook has been in the middle of things right now and is going to earn another corner kick. So the Bulls have had some clear shots in this game. Had all sorts of chances to uncork one there, but really it would have been shooting right into the wall because the Gators have that box packed right now. In fact, absolutely every member of their team is in the penalty box. It is going to be tough to score on a corner kick. Hochstadter tries to get it over and hope for a head to come onto it. Pelletier LaRoche had a chance, so did Cook. Back out to Kitching. Oh, that's not a bad ball in, but it's going to go wide. Katie Kitching holds up her hand. So Bulls with a couple more chances, and I think we are going to get the hydration break here. Indeed, we will. So we will take it and be back in just a couple of minutes. You are listening to Women's Soccer on USF Bulls Unlimited. And the hydration break included everyone working down there, officiating crew. Can't forget them, obviously. They're running the whole game, too. Event staff here at USF. Fans have been hydrating all night long. Bulls find themselves down 2-0 to the Florida Gators. Second half goals by Kit Lefersky and the outstanding Deanne Rose, who really is back in the game, by the way. That first goal, you could almost say, was her goal as well. In fact, I'll say it, and I'll give Lefersky all the credit for being there. I'm not taking it away from her, and it's her goal, but Rose is the reason it was a goal. She broke down the field ahead of two Bulls who tried in vain to catch up. And just as the goalkeeper, Kat Harmon, cut off the angle a little bit, Rose was able to send it to an unmarked Lefersky. Well, Bulls feel like they just got a really good chance on goal taken from them. And a fan really is letting the ref know about it. But basically, Nasello played it around a player on the sideline. And I guess she and everyone on the coaching staff thought she got to that ball before it rolled off the touchline, and it didn't work out that way. It'll be Gators throw in. 72 minutes gone. Derek Sharp here on the call. In our next event on USF Bulls Unlimited Tuesday night, the football coaches show, football radio show. Meet Charlie Strong, get ready for the season. There's the Gators football team. Got a win in their opener against Miami. I got home in time to watch the fourth quarter. Very interesting fourth quarter. If you like penalties. Throw in goes right out of bounds, so the Bulls will hope for a ball to throw in. Bree Bethlen is not exactly getting help from the would-be ball girls on the Florida Gators bench. Nor should she. Fanny Pelletier, the Roche on the other end. Katie Kitching has Cook out to the right side. Hawkstadter sees her and is going to send it that way via Lucy Roberts. So Sabrina Wagner out of the game. Olivia Cook has been a surefire boost here, coming up from the back on the defense. Good interception there by Betters, the player from Springstead. Gonzalez, who had that run earlier, the freshman from Spain. Kitching gets a non-cleared pass. Drops to Gonzalez. She's got a chance at a shot. That's a good-looking shot. Saved by Espinoza. Rebound cleared away by Lester. So Gonzalez has, along with Cook, really sparked the offense here since coming on as second half substitutes. Even Cook is a defensive player. Vienne, meanwhile, gets in on the action and only in time to foul. I believe that's Sid Kennedy out there. Ever since I got the eye surgery, which I realized after 1 year of calling play-by-play, especially events like soccer and baseball where stuff happens far away, that you kind of need to be able to see numbers and read them well without binoculars. Yeah, she's 32. Good. I'm a 100% in identifying players. Thank you, Dr. Newsom. It's Bree Blethen, back to Cheyenne Dennis. Lucy Roberts calling for her on the right side. 16 minutes remaining. Bulls down 2-0 to the Florida Gators. Gotten both their goals here on counterattacks in the second half. Deanna Rose has been the menacing presence if you're the Bulls. She is an outstanding player. Don't need me to tell you that, but she's only proven it out tonight. Boy, she is 1-on-5 on the Bulls defensive half, and she is working out there. Good enough player, but hard worker as well. Again, a national for Canada. There's a hard-working player, Nasello, trying to get ahead. And still into the box, still going. Had a possible drop-off, and again, could not send it back to VN, who had just popped open. 3 players converged on Nasello. Boy, Sydney had the dramatic winner with 20 seconds left against Auburn. It's been frustrating tonight. Hawkstadter tries a long shot, but Roberts is there to block it. Great job by Parker Roberts. I know Rose has the 2. Almost said 2 goals, goal and an assist. But Roberts might be the best player. Oh, there's the ball into Vienne, and coming out and making the save is Espinoza. Man, she has been tremendous. And she has given up 4 goals in her last 2 starts, paced across 2 seasons. She wants to post a clean sheet here tonight. It's not like she's had an easy time of it. She's gotten help from her defense, but when she's had to make a save, she's been able to do it as well. 21 games for the Gators last year, 7-10-4. And Rose only played in 10 of them and only scored a couple in a 4-minute span. Those were her only goals of the year. Almost impossible to believe. She was an all-freshman player in the conference 2 years ago. Oh, okay. I knew that. Yeah, 2 last year, 9 in her freshman season. But it's hard to believe that she would only be able to go through 2 goals in a season, even limited to 10 games because of her talent. So now we've reached 14 minutes to go. Bree Blethen will check out for the Bulls. And who comes in for her? I didn't see it. I was looking down. And that's important because if it's not a defensive player, no, there's Sabrina Wagner. Okay, it will be a defensive player. So you get more offensive threats from your wingbacks right now in the form of Wagner and Cook. with Wagner now playing on the left side, which is a switch for her. I guess Olivia Cook, is more inclined to patrol the right side. Actually, Cook was a central defender last year with Cheyenne Dennis, but the addition of Lucy Roberts, the freshman from England, has led to that defensive alignment change. Nice pass in from Wagner to Fanny Pelletier-LaRoche, crosses the iconic Bulls logo in center of the pitch. 77 minutes gone, still 2-0 Florida. Oh, nice first touch by Kitching, 2 on her. See if she drops it over to Cook. Olivia Cook with some more great moves. She does have Vienne, possibly. She's going to try a shot herself, and it's a long shot that dips a little bit over the crossbar. I got to say it, Evelyn Vienne just put her arms out as if to say, why didn't she pass the ball to me? But you got to give credit to Cook for trying to force the issue here. Vienne certainly had the opportunity. I mentioned the 3 by Nasello, the 2 shots in this half, and then the 2-on-1 where she just couldn't make the delivery soon enough to Vienne. That'll go down as a key moment in this game, if not the key moment in my opinion. But Vienne broke in the first half. And again, Espinoza, when she was called upon, made that save. So I'd say the Bulls have had 4 ace scoring opportunities, along with a couple of other respectable ones. Gonzalez, Pelletier-LaRoche digging in to try and win the ball back with 12 minutes to go. They do. Sabrina Wagner looking for someone to feed. Kitching makes herself available. Katie Kitching has been moving around pretty good here tonight. Lucy Roberts. Good movement there, and sees Vienne. Good one touch to get herself the ball, but at a tough angle, what is she going to do? Tries to cut it back. Lost control. Still going to have a chance to save it. Gets it. Feeds it. That's got to go in. No, it's blocked. The rebound, surely no. How did that not go in? Sydney Nasello on the pass from Vienne as the Gator player was trying to ride the ball out. Vienne fought her way to it, sent it back to Nasello. I didn't see who made the original block for the Gators, and then another one back to back. Oh, when you see that, I'm sorry to say, you just got to believe it's not your night. 78 minutes and 45 seconds gone, and the Bulls certainly look to have scored there. It's still 2-0. They will get a corner kick. Andrea Hochstadter will take it. And that's right to Espinoza. She had a chance at catching it, but she slapped it out, so the Bulls may still have a chance here. In fact, they will get a throw. Good effort there by Vanessa Cara to try and run it down before it went out, but the Bulls get the throw. Roberts takes it, wipes her hands, said it might have slipped out, but the Bulls still have possession. Over to Cook on the right side. Going to try and cross, and it was blocked back out of bounds for a throw by Sid Kennedy. So I'm talking about on the doorstep. The Gators have played a pretty not flawless. They've let some breakthroughs tonight, but when they've had to come up with the stops on defense, whether it be Espinoza or somebody else, they've done it. See if they have a category on our stat sheet for victories for Espinoza. I guess she would have gotten a win Friday night, duh. She gave up 2 goals, but hey, if your team wins 3-2, guess what? That's a dub. Gonna surmise that it might be her first win, but she's gotten some. 80 minutes gone, 10 minutes left. Bulls continuing to pile up. Folks, I look up. After it was 2-0, the Gators were at 4 shots. They're still at 4 shots. The Bulls are at 17. 17-4 is the shot count right now. And mostly credit Florida, but also, you got to say, from the USF angle, they wish the finishing would be a little bit better here tonight. The positive thing is they continue to show why they're regarded as highly as they are. They just haven't been able to finish. That's a good long ball by Pelletier-LaRoche as Vienne called for it, but again, it was Roberts getting in the way. Now, Lefersky back on the field. Certainly a good sign there. Forcing Cheyenne Dennis to play it back to Harmon, who really hasn't had much to do in the second half, honestly. She's seen those 2 break-ins, and again, not many goalies would have been able to stop either of those. 9 minutes left. Bulls need one and need one quick. They're down 2-0. Pelletier-LaRoche to Nasello. She's going to see Vienne. Let's see if Vienne makes a better run. That's a pretty good run. She's got Nasello back. She's going to try, and that's just not Evelyn Vienne right there. Tried I'm not going to call it half-hearted shot, but not enough conviction from where she was at the top of the box. Well over the goal. So Vienne may be tiring a little bit, but got to give her credit for that last opportunity, as she could have just given up on the play and let the ball roll out for a goal kick. She didn't. Got the ball back, cut it to Nasello, and it was blocked off the goal line. That's the second time it's happened tonight. It happened twice in one segment, one sequence there. Certainly the chance of many chances on the night. Again, 18 shots, 7 saves for Espinoza. And you got to say about 3 saves for her defense. See if we got the shots on goal category. If there's 18, I'm going to say 10. That's a ton. It says 7, but that can't be true. 7 were made. Yeah, that can't be true. If there were 7 saves, that's 7 shots on goal, but we just saw 2 that got knocked away by a defensive player. I think that's just a flaw in the stats that govern soccer. I guess it has to be saved by the keeper to count as a shot on goal. How about it was going on goal? And it's happened 3 times for the Bulls with a Gator defender, not the goalkeeper, knocking it away. So that is an asterisk stat if there ever was one. Olivia Cook gets it up to Hochstetter, who's got 2 options here on the left. Wagner, again, making herself available up the pitch. Gets it over to Nasello as we hit 83 minutes, just 7 left to play. Nasello switches it to Roberts on the right side. Wants to feed it to Cook, but the Gators actually sort of cheating to Olivia Cook. Good interception there by Lester, the Academy of Holy Names player, and now up to Lefersky. She's got a player in front of her, but Hochstetter showing some serious commitment to get back, but she ends up fouling Lefersky, who is, to her credit, going to pop back up. Give her a lot of props there, because that's a situation where your team's up 2-0, you get fouled. You might see it on the international level. You might see it on the professional level where the player, oh, man, I can't get up. You mean more time's going to get off the clock? Nope. Lefersky right back up. Now it's going to be Sammy Betters, the Springstead Eagle. If her team was behind or tied, maybe would try and shoot it on net there, but instead plays the free kick back so the Gators can take more time off the clock. Very well coached, obviously. They had 1 coach in their history. And Becky Burley's a good one. Still unfathomable that, I always have trouble saying that word, unfathomable, that anyone could win a national championship in their 4th year, but that's what the Gators did. So Wagner's going to come out, and Rebecca Anderson in on defense for the Bulls. I think that basically is going to mean that they're going to play 3 in the back and have Cook pushing up. There's Coach Burley giving some words of encouragement to just subbed out Tess Sapone. Oh, Anderson just off the bench is calling for a pass. A long ball would be a tricky one to get from Dennis, and Anderson can't quite get it. Good pass by Dennis, but hard to control. As we near 5 minutes to go, it's not looking good for the Bulls. But I can't stress enough, they have not been outplayed. They have been outscored. And credit Florida for that, but just to make sure you realize they're not getting outclassed. That's for certain. Anderson really trying to create some energy off the bench, but can't connect there again. Sydney Nasello forces a ball to be played out of bounds, so the Bulls have a throw deep left and ready to take it. Oh, that's not a good call. I thought that was off on the Gators. For certain. They might change the call. Yeah. Okay, there you go. That's hey, listen, that's good. Lay off the head referee. He realized, and there's a foul after the play. He realized that he made a mistake, and he went and checked it, and he's off the hook in my book. Well, I know people like to ride the refs, but when they realize they might have made a mistake and they get help and it's overturned, boom, ref is off the hook. Now, what just happened, while that was all going on, the Bulls threw the ball in before the whistle blew, and Sydney Nasello got plowed over by Betters, and they're actually going to give a yellow card to Betters for that. Clock has not resumed. It's sitting on 85 minutes and 18 seconds. So you are going to have games in soccer, of course, where you outplay your opponent and lose. And sometimes it comes down to who comes through when they need to, and the Gators have been the team that's done that tonight. They've had far fewer opportunities, but hey, once you get a 2-0 lead, you don't need any more scoring opportunities if you don't give up a goal, even though the Bulls have knocked on the door very hard. Oh, Vienne tried to turn there on a pass in from Roberts, but couldn't quite connect. That is a tricky move. She tried something that she's able to pull off for the most part, but add that to the list of things that normally go the Bulls' way that has not here tonight. We approach 4 minutes to go. Gonzalez over to Cook, who's been tremendous off the bench. I would venture a guess that she's going to get some starts this season, maybe in the next game. Tries a long shot, not a bad one, but that's wide. Shot number 19 for the Bulls. They are going to get on 20 shots here. You know, last year talked about the Gators' record being 7-10-4. They actually outscored their opponents 23-22. They had that 6-0 win I mentioned. And again, most of their losses were close. They allowed 12 shots a game. So the Bulls have vastly topped that with 19. Good work by Anderson, but coming back on defense for the Gators is ball trip Reyes. And now Rose had a chance to outrun Cheyenne Dennis. You know, the Bulls are so outstanding defensively, but when you have an international player, a class player like Deanne Rose, hey, that talent's going to come through. And just bad luck with the schedule, right? She only played in half of their games last year. If this would have been one of those games, I could tell you the Bulls are probably winning it, but hey, you want to play an opponent at their best, and that's what the Gators are right now. Less than 3 minutes to go. Vienne holds and gets fouled. Needs to get up quickly and take this foul. Got the call, and yeah, she wants to set it up quickly for Hochstar. The Gators are going to stand up. A quick retake. This could be on for the Bulls. Hochstar over to Kitchen. Good shot low. Espinoza stops. Shot number 20. 20 shots, and that was smart by the Bulls. Instead of trying to play the game of, okay, they're going to stand over the ball and let's ask for time, and they stop the clock, go ahead and restart it while the Gators were going through those shenanigans, and ended up giving Kitching a pretty good shot opportunity, which just missed. 2 minutes to go. Over unovercomable hill now, it would look like. And the Bulls will be back at it on Thursday night at St. Leo. Chance to get back on the winning track. Official is going to stop the clock here with exactly a minute and 55 seconds left. Perhaps sensing that the Gators are not exactly rushing on the throw-in. Like that. Very sharp referee here tonight. It's been well officiated. And in the end, well played by both teams. The Bulls just happened to be on the wrong end of a couple of great individual efforts by a great individual and player, Deanne Rose. 90 seconds left. Nice headed down ball by Kitching to Sidnicello, but that one was knocked away by the Gators. They have done a lot of knocking away tonight, especially in close, to the chagrin of USF. Olivia Cook going to take the throw-in on the far side, looking for somebody to throw the ball to at this point. You just got to throw it in and hope for the best. Can't take time waiting. Hochstadter ends up with the ball. She's going to get knocked off of it with 1 minute to go. And the Bulls maybe get some consolation here. Less than a minute to go. Gators do the smart thing there. Play the ball far down the field. Ball girl still doing the work, getting the ball right back in. Florida just going to boot it every time they get the ball. What's the old youth soccer adage on how to play defense? Oh, yeah. Get it out of there. Well, it fits sometimes in higher level soccer. 20 seconds left, and they just got it out of there again. Rose actually is going to dribble it around, and it would be fitting if she dribbles out the last 15 seconds here. She gets around Cook. Actually, it's going to be a throw-in for the Bulls. Well, fitting or not, she was the reason that the Gators are going to win this game. Bulls get up 20 shots, so many of them absolutely dead goal opportunities. Credit to the Florida Gator keeper, Susie Espinoza. Again, someone that is starting after starting 6 games a couple years ago, and then those were the first 6. That was it for her. She did post 3 shutouts that year, so this will be shutout number 4, but she got a lot of help from her defense, notably clearing balls off the line and making it a frustrating night. But this was a tremendous night for soccer. A lot of fans turned out, and if one of those moments where the Bulls' normally reliable scorers didn't convert did, then obviously this is a different game. But it didn't go that way, and that's sometimes how it goes, or in this case, doesn't go for the Bulls in soccer. So they lose it, again, 20 shots compared to just 4 for the Gators. Both goals coming in the second half. Deanne Rose gets in, breaks in. 2 defenders come to her. She lays it off for Kit Lefersky, who scores. And then later on, Rose creates her own opportunity and made no mistake about that. I want to say thank you for listening to women's soccer right here on USF Bulls Unlimited. If you're listening here